Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about ways you can romanticise your life in autumn. I know it's a bit through autumn now, but hopefully you can still take some of these ideas into your life this month. The first thing on my list is to make autumnal decorations. So this can include crochet, which I love to do. This month I crocheted a sparkly pumpkin, but I also have these other pumpkins that I've made from other years. They're just a really cute decoration to put around your house. I also had a go at making a originally needle punch coaster, however I turned it into just embroidery. This is my first go at embroidery, so it's just what I made it. I think it's cute. The longer you look at it, maybe you start to see some errors, but I really enjoyed making it, and that's what counts. It's just the enjoyment of making something in a cozy little room in your months, just taking the time to enjoy your free time. The second thing you can do is go on seasonal walks. So this is just going on a walk, being all wrapped up and cozy as you go and look at the changing colours of the season. Now, I think it took a while for the leaves to change this month, so the leaves didn't fall off as early as they usually do, but once they had, it was lovely just to see all the autumnal leaves on the paths and see the trees of all the different shades of oranges and yellow and just appreciate that. The third thing you can do is wear autumnal outfits. So like I am now, wear outfits that you just think give autumn. So these are some outfits that I think are really autumnal and I will wear throughout autumn, interspersed with other outfits. This includes your watch, maybe, or your wallpaper, or anything like that. You can make autumnal and cozy. Also, I just have to include any autumnal shows that you might watch, and for me, I always rewatch Over the Garden Wall. Even if I don't rewatch the whole thing, I love to rewatch it in autumn. And the soundtrack is really long and actually more extensive than the show, but I love listening to the soundtrack as it just gets me in the cozy autumnal mood. And finally, I wanted to put a section in talking about autumnal books that I think you should read during autumn. These books just really, to me, seem like they fit in the season, so I hope you enjoyed this little section. Hi, so I want to talk to you now about some autumnal reading suggestions, books that I think personally fit the vibe of autumn and fit how to romanticise your life in autumn, because these books really put you in the season. So my first suggestion is The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. Now this book is very gothic, it's Halloween even more, where you follow a character who is the goddaughter of Death himself. So it's perfectly spooky, but also she has this kind of love of trees, and the kind of like description of being in a forest sometimes really fits the autumnal vibe. My next recommendation is Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. So Nettle and Bone is a story about a princess who sets out to kill an abusive prince who married her sister, and along the way she finds like a fairy godmother, a witch and a knight, and they all kind of band together to go on this quest. And she also has this like task of doing 3 things set by the witch. So it's actually very gothic of a book again, which is kind of part of the theme in autumnal reads. Also, this book starts off as she is in a forest making a dog made of bones. Now if that's not Halloween in autumn, I don't know what is. The next book on my list is Phantasma by Katie Smith. This is now a romantasy, very kind of more gothic romantasy though, as it features lots of devils, monsters and that side, which is very leaning to gothic rather than fantasy. In this book you follow our main character called Ophelia, who follows her sister into these games called Phantasma, and while she's in Phantasma she meets I've forgotten what they exactly call him, but he's kind of like a ghoul type being who she starts to fall in love with, even though she finds very annoying at first. So it is most definitely a romance, and the gothic setting, the dark fantasy gothic setting of this book is just perfect for these autumn months. The next book on the list is The Briar Book of the Dead by A.G. Slater. Now this is another witchy book, as it should be, and this time we follow a main character who is in a big family of witches, and though she doesn't have any magical abilities, but she gains some magical abilities to see ghosts throughout her village, and she discovers things of the past, things that are happening, origin kind of her family, and she has to deal with all of this. I won't say this book is super spooky or anything, more heavily leaning into the kind of witch and occult vibes rather than any spookiness of actual frightening ghosts. However, it is a classic fantasy of witches. Next book is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, and this is a dark academia book about a main character called Galadriel, who is going to this magical school, but in this school it's really deadly, hence the title, and she has to learn how to survive while fighting these beasts that are invading her classroom. And I think it's a perfect twist on a magical school story, where instead she's not just happily learning about her magic, there are real life threats and she has to be prepared to save herself over others and get to the end of the year and graduate, because that's the only way she's going to survive, is to learn how to use her magic and fight these creatures. The next book on the list is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is another dark academia book featuring 4 main characters that we follow through their first year of university at Oxford. They're all studying in Babel, which is the languages tower. And my favourite quote from this, which was on the back, was an act of translation is an act of betrayal, or something along those lines, which I find incredibly interesting. This book features a lot of lectures, so you have to be open to the actual subject that this book is about, which is translation and the British Empire and minorities and how they are impacted in this time setting. There is a sprinkling of fantasy in this book as well, as silver is used as a power source. the next book is The Atlas Six, and again this is a dark academia book which is almost very sci-fi-esque, as there's two main characters are physicists, so there are indeed 6 main characters in this book, which at first can be a little bit confusing. However, you do get to know all these characters as they are all accepted into this kind of secret society to study what they truly want. But it turns out that one of them has to die for the rest of them to be able to study her. So this book is a perfect twist on secret society, knowledge, power. And those are my recommendations. Thank you for watching me talking about how to romanticise your life in autumn. I hope some of these things are helpful, or that you find them interesting. If you read any of these books, please let me know. Or if you make anything, just tell me, I'm interested. Bye.